I have given a name to my pain. The Batman.
Always waiting for some Batman to save you.
It's simple. We kill the Bat of Gotham.
You don't really think you'll win, do you? I'm Batman.
Hey now, welcome to the 4th episode of the Batman on Film vlog. With me today is my usual co-host of the Batman on Film podcast, my brother, my Texas brother, my UT brother, my Dallas Cowboy brother, my brother. What else are we, Rick? We're just, we're 10 years apart. We're just kindred spirits. Yeah. Kindred spirits.
You didn't even say anything about Batman.
Bat brothers, yes. Kindred spirits, yes. We everything. Anyway, having a little bit of love fest here for Rick today. So anyway, we're here to talk about. Oh, Rick, go ahead and introduce yourself first and say hi to everybody out there before we get going.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Rick Shew here.
Yes. So,
behind enemy lines, and well, I don't want to get into the geographical thing. I'm in Dallas.
Yeah, before you do all that, you are doing like the complete dad-parent thing this weekend. It's awesome, so just tell folks what the hell's going on.
No, my wife's just been on the road a lot lately. Her and I both work, and she's in New York again, and I have my girls by myself. That's fine. It's great, but it's been several days now, so need a little break. But we're going to go see Coco here.
And that will be
about
good.
it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, let's talk some DC on film. Let's talk some Batman on film. A couple days ago, Variety ran a story by Brent Lang, saying that in the wake of Justice League, DC is going to go, well, I should say Warner Brothers is going to make some major changes to DC on film going forward. Number one, John Berg, who was one of the main producers on Justice League, is no longer going to be part of DC on film. He's going to stay with Warner Brothers, and he's going to continue to produce films for them, but no DC films. And right. Jeff Johns is no longer the point man for DC on film for Warner Brothers. He is going back to probably consulting advisor and so forth. So
right.
Let's start there. Thoughts on that?
Well, my initial thoughts on it when I read the article, I mean, first of all, we knew big changes were coming. We all knew that, particularly when the box office numbers for Justice League started to roll in. And we were all sort of expecting that to happen, not quite as bad, and we knew that some changes were imminent. What kind of bothers me a little bit is I feel like these two guys may have gotten thrown under the bus a little bit.
That's where I was going to go with that.
Yeah, they needed somebody, dare I say, to jump on a grenade for them, but I don't know if it was voluntarily or not.
Yeah.
I think they were sort of thrown under the bus. And it's unfortunate because obviously we don't know all the intricacies and ins and outs of everything that led us here where we are right now. It's complicated and it's a complex business. But I will say that I just don't think, based on what I know, that these guys should be getting punished in the way they are. But it is what it is, man. It's big business.
Do you think they're getting punished? Is it a punishment, or is it a public display of, look, fans, we're doing some, we're shaking things up, we're making changes? I don't buy the thing from Toby Emmerich saying that Mr. Berg asked 6 months ago for this move. I don't believe that. I think that was PR. No. And really, Jeff, Mr. Johns, is going back to really what he was doing before he was thrown into this active producer role on Justice League. You know, so
But don't you think both of them probably would prefer to have stayed in their roles for things to be better and for them to be creating DC?
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I mean by punish. Listen, they're both keeping their job. Some heads probably were going to roll. If this is the extent of it, this really isn't that bad. People are still keeping their job.
Yeah, wait till January, dude.
Well, this is true. The people will lose their job, particularly when this thing hits like 640 and it ends. I mean, I don't even know the box office numbers right now, but it's bad. So, but let's just say for these guys though that this is as bad as it gets. It's not a prison sentence. They're still, Johns is still going to be used as an advisor, and look, Berg's going to do his own thing, man.
Yeah,
work on produce Lego movies or whatever.
Yeah, well, Jeff is still one of the heads of DC Entertainment. He still will have a lot to do with the comics and TV and all that stuff. But
right,
and I guess they'll use him in a way of like, okay, we're going to make such and such movie. We've got such and such director. Here's his vision. He can come in and say, okay, look, you got to stay on. You've got to. Here's the mythology. Here's this and that. So don't stray too far. Blah blah blah. So anyway,
he's a built-in in-house consultant at this point.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's talk about next. Another point from the article was that, and I want to get this from you because you're a business dude, and Rick, your analogies when you bring the restaurant business into this. It's fantastic, and it really is, and it makes it easy to understand for some people who sometimes it's hard to understand that this is a business, right?
Right.
Okay.
And it's a business in trouble.
Yes, and apparently Time Warner, who owns Warner Brothers Pictures, was frustrated that Warner Brothers continued to bring Zack Snyder back. Especially after BVS.
Right.
Thoughts?
Well, he was already knee deep in Justice League.
Yeah.
Before BVS, before people realized that it was going to have the fan reaction that it had, and then obviously underperformed at the box office. So I don't really find that fair. But maybe they wanted to push him out sooner than he was, and it's delicate. It's a tricky situation because, the truth of all this will come out in terms of what exactly was the catalyst for Zack Snyder's exit.
There was no way they were going to make a change after BVS, because when BVS came out, they were about to start shooting a month later. There was just no way, and it would have been a PR disaster at that time to do it. And we know they course corrected before and during and after obviously Justice League shot. So I don't think that we shouldn't pile on Zack Snyder. I mean,
I don't want to pile on Zack Snyder.
They let him.
And listen, because there is a absolutely horrific tragedy that's tied into all this. Mm-hmm. I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. Yeah. That's nightmarish. I'll just say that. Man, I'm going to be careful how I phrase this here, because I don't want to pile on Zack, and I don't want to disrespect that tragedy.
Okay, hold on. It wasn't his fault, because he had a vision, and that's fine. I respect that completely. BVS was Zack Snyder's baby. Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. And anybody says, "Well, the studio got involved." Studios almost always get involved to some extent. That's a Zack Snyder film.
Yeah, they wanted it cut down to. How much did they clip off? 20 minutes, 15 minutes,
30, because they even let him put out his extended cut of that film, which I still say to this day that Batman v Superman extended cut makes the story a little better, especially with Luther's motives. I love that we get more Cavill. I'll have that all day long. Yeah. But this whole thing that it's a completely different movie is just hogwash.
No, it's the same movie.
Does not fundamentally change that movie. It's a Zack Snyder film, which is a little more of it.
And look, that's fine. They let Zack make the movie he wanted to make.
Right.
Justice League obviously was going to be completely different. But it changed in the wake of BVS.
But isn't it interesting that what we reported for months and months and months and months online about, look, guys, Joss is in there making fundamental changes. He's turning this into his movie. You don't just bring Danny Elfman, change the composer, and everybody's like, oh, this is Zack's movie, this is his vision. Now these same people are saying, well, we want the Snyder director's cut because this Joss hijacked this film. So but here's the thing on that. To put this in perspective with in terms of Snyder with the studio and his vision for DC, he did have to step away because of the tragic situation.
He stepped, he was still involved. He stepped away, but
he was still involved. Josh was there, but he was still involved. But he stepped away from that, but he never came back, and he's not going to come back. He's not going to do another DC comic book hero movie ever again. That in itself is very telling, because if they were happy with him and his vision, they would bring him back. They would use him in some capacity, and I'm sure maybe in some capacity, in a producer role and everything, sure. But in terms of any sort of creative decisions or whatnot, I think that ship has sailed.
And here's the thing: they still let him make Justice League the way he wanted to make it for the most part, and didn't wave their hand and say stop until January, February, Marchish of this year, and say, nah, we're not doing this. There's someone is accountable for that. No? Right.
Of course.
Yeah.
There was a screening and they didn't like it, and they brought in Joss. It's that simple.
So okay, we're not going to get in back. We're not going to rehash Justice League, but it is.
No, I don't want to rehash.
I know.
But just to answer your question, that's just the status of everything with Snyder. Yeah. And I wish him well. He's a visionary god, and he'll do something great.
Yes. Okay.
Again, I might add.
Yes.
He'll do something great again.
Let's get into the Batman part of this.
Yay, Batman.
Yes, the trade says, Variety, that Ben Affleck has a role if they do Flashpoint.
Yeah.
I have thoughts about that. But Matt Reeves' solo film is going to be featuring a different actor as Batman, and that's because Matt Reeves wants a different actor as Batman. And look, we've been saying that for a while. So let's talk about real quick, how do you juggle that deal? I mean, do you make Flashpoint and then you have Affleck? I think, look, let me tell you, I don't know if you read my article. Flashpoint, I read the comic book. I love the Batman Flashpoint thing with Thomas Wayne being Batman when Bruce was the one that was killed. It was awesome. I even liked the Flash TV show's little version of Flashpoint. But if they're trying to use this as a way to reboot DC on film, it's effing stupid, dude. It's ridiculous, because you're essentially bringing back the same players, and that's fine. Individually, that's cool. But a Flashpoint movie would be Justice League 1.5 or whatever the hell, how in the hell you want to number it. And isn't this the performance of Justice League critically, box office, amongst the mainstream? Why would you trot out, and this is where I want to get your business point of view coming in, why would you trot them out again and try to sell folks this thing just to reboot DC on film? It just makes no sense to me.
I'm sorry, did you say something after you talked about Affleck leaving as Batman? I'm just kidding. It's a joke. I'm just so over that topic.
I know.
I'm over him.
If you're running a restaurant,
I'm over all that,
and you have a plate or whatever you want to call it, and it sucks, but you like it, and you want to make sure that people like. I mean, would you keep serving this frickin' plate over and over again till
If I had a chef and his or her kitchen staff, and this is an on-the-fly restaurant analogy, so bear with me here. And we were getting bad reviews on the food. It's constant bad reviews, and the reviews were getting worse. Our sales were going down. Less people were coming in because of the restaurant, the bad reputation where food is concerned. But we had components of the restaurant that were working. Our service was good. We had good bartenders. We made good drinks and everything. We had a great valet. We just don't have a good kitchen and not a good leader in the kitchen. And reviews and sales are reflecting that.
Okay.
We're not going to retrain and do something with our chef and our existing kitchen and then make some kind of splash and say, all right, same people, but we put them through culinary school and now it's going to be better and awesome. Come back in and let's give these guys a chance. And here's chef so-and-so, and he's better than he's ever been. He's, forget all the bad food that you've had here for the last year.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. Right, you have to start over. You have to start from scratch. You have to have, dare I say, a splash. There has to be a splash, and that's my concern with any of this going forward, other than Wonder Woman. And I've said this a million times before. I don't think Aquaman would even have been filmed if they knew the outcome of Justice League, but they were stuck with that. Hopefully, that'll be great. It'll be an origin film, and they can do sequels to that if it works. That'll be a real interesting thing to see. Because if Aquaman works at the box office, I really have no idea. I suspect the movie's going to be really cool, but I don't know how people are going to respond to it. So that'll be telling.
Did you see James Wan's comments in Entertainment Weekly about they did a first look at Aquaman? They had a great picture of Momoa.
It's a cool picture.
Yeah, and
what did he say?
He said, essentially, I'm going to paraphrase, this is my film. It's completely different than Justice League.
Yeah,
and I would have, he wouldn't have taken the job if he wasn't allowed to do that. It completely looks different. Everything's different. And it was his take on the character. And he chose Aquaman over the Flash because he said, the Flash has been, Aquaman's been made fun of and this and that. And over the years, Entourage had a running joke about Aquaman. And he said, I'm going to take this and make something really badass with it.
Right.
And again, I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially what he said. And I'm like, effing hey, dude, I'm all on board with this.
I am too.
Yeah, and you don't.
I am too.
Yeah, you don't have to mention Justice League in Aquaman. You don't have to mention Justice League in Wonder Woman 2. You just make damn films, and that's why I'm. Look, let me bring up Mario Francisco Robles. Actually, we did a show yesterday, and there was some effed up stuff with Skype. And if you record with Skype, if you do a podcast or a video or a vlog, and use Skype, their most recent version will not allow you to use your software that you put money into, and it's nonsense. Anyway, enough of that. So, but I got it fixed. So that's why we're here today. But Mario, I did want to give him credit. He's more optimistic than me. And I think he's more optimistic than Rick, because Rick thinks we're not seeing Henry Cavill as Superman again. I'm not ready to go there yet, but Mario says that Flashpoint is a great way to reboot, do it in 2 years, and he still would like to see them get together for team-up films. So. And he makes a great argument. I'm gonna get him back on. We'll talk about it, and because I don't want to pile on him either. He's not here. I disagree. I think you just make good DC movies and don't worry about leading up to another film. And that's why I had such an issue with the Legion of Doom post-credit scene in Justice League, because I can almost guarantee you we're not going to see that nonsense again. We're not going to see any of that again. And I thought it was completely ridiculous. So, I know it's a lot right there. What's your take of all that, dude?
It's exactly where I stand, where I've stood, is that I think that one thing about the article we didn't mention, and I'll tie it into to answering this question, is that it looks like they're going to physically move the DC division under just the Warner Brothers tent. And sort of get rid of that altogether, and go into more of a format to basically like they were doing, or Sony or whatever,
like they were doing back before Man of Steel,
right.
Or No, well, Man of Steel's part of that, but yeah, I got you. Yeah, they're going back to it's going back under Warner Brothers proper.
Which begs the question, and Ryan Haas and I were talking on the phone today, and Ryan brought up a good point. He said, I think that means there's going to be less oversight, more emphasis on directors and filmmakers' vision. I said, I hope so.
Yes.
But conversely, well, if you think about it, there's two sides of the coin. I could say I also think that perhaps it could go the other way. If you're bringing them in under that tent, does that mean there's more eyes on them, not less? In other words, it's not just it's like if you took Lucasfilm and just said, okay, now you're just gonna come over here under Disney, and then it just, you know what I'm saying? It seems I don't really know which way that could go. It could really go either way.
I think it means they're going to be more. They are really going to go to their director-driven approach or filmmaker-driven approach. And
take a look at what's worked for them over the years.
Well,
Chris Nolan's Dark Knight films,
Yeah.
Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman film, that just aesthetically doesn't appear to even have that much Snyder influence until like the third act. But it was still her film. You could feel it. It was a very different tonal film.
Yeah.
And everything, and it worked. Mm-hmm. Why would you just not go back to what has worked? I don't let directors and filmmakers come in and let them fulfill their vision for these characters, and God, just don't frickin' try to be the Avengers. Don't worry about it.
Does it make business sense at this point to try to force another go at a team-up film?
No.
Okay. Why?
No, because it hasn't worked. And Einstein says the very definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And that's all we're doing right now. We need to shift gears. We need to do something different. We need a change. We don't need that same chef putting out that same food that's giving me the same bad reviews and dragging my sales down. I need to get a new chef. I need to make a splash. Here he or she is. That's what they need to do. It needs to be new actors, and it has to be new incarnations of the characters. It has to be individual.
Yeah, but you don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater, because Gal's not going anywhere.
No, because she worked.
Yeah, and Jason's not going anywhere with Aquaman.
Well, we don't know that yet.
But look, hey, Aquaman could suck, and then we don't see Aquaman again. But
again, I say. And it's important to bring this up again. I'm beating a dead horse, I know. That movie would not have ever been made if they knew Justice League's outcome. They wouldn't have done it. That's just business.
I agree.
And Wonder Woman, they say, well, okay, this is weird. We have to carve her out and set her aside. We have to keep her. But that doesn't mean because you're keeping Gal as Wonder Woman that you have to keep Ben Affleck as Batman and Henry as Superman, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. To the contrary, I would say that you have to say what works, keep, what hasn't worked, move on and change. And those things have not worked. So, Cavill's now had 3 films as Superman. 3. One of which is a origin film. One of which is a resurrection film to reunite with Batman and other DC heroes that for the first team-up movie. And it's a complete bomb at the box office. The audiences have rejected his Superman.
Yeah.
I hate it. I think that they've passed on a beautiful actor giving us a beautiful performance of a beautiful character. I'll defend him to my dying day. It's not about my opinion of him. It's about a business. You put Henry Cavill in a commercial, I said this before, and the general audience is going to watch a trailer. They're going to see that. They're going to see him. They're going to see Amy Adams. They're going to tune it out. That's what I'm afraid of. And what I'm afraid of is that's what I think the studio is aware of. And that's why all these changes are going to be made. I will be shocked if Matt Reeves' Batman has anything to do with any of this. I don't even think he's going to go the prequel route. I really don't. I think he's going to
he's just making a Batman movie.
He's going to make a Batman movie, and he's going to put Pierce Bronson as Alfred.
That wouldn't be bad, actually.
It was actually a Twitter thing the other day, and somebody said that. I was
that would not be bad.
That is awesome casting.
Yeah.
Just do Jake Gyllenhaal as Batman and Pierce Bronson as Alfred. Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with you.
That was just a Twitter thing, by the way, people.
No. Yeah.
Pierce Bronson's not going to be Alfred. I don't think.
Yeah. Okay. Let's sum up here, and we'll get the hell out of here. There's some major changes going on, and there's probably more coming. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
You said it yourself. I said heads haven't really rolled yet. They're just readjusting. But yeah, come January, that'll be very telling.
But they can't keep stuffing the boudin into the casing, man, because it's going to break. You know, you can't just keep beating. Or I'm trying to make some other analogy. You can't beat your head against the wall. You can't. I mean, come on, help me out here.
Again, it's the definition of insanity. It's one of our Twitter followers, and she's amazing. And I can't remember right now, and I'm going to apologize to her. And I wish I had it in front of me. But she said something the other day. She said, "You don't make movies to fix movies that are effed up. You make movies just to be." Remember that?
Flashpoint. Yeah.
You make movies just to be great movies, not to like fix a problem.
Yes.
And because if you're making a movie to fix a problem, that's not probably going to result in the right kind of movie.
Well, it's been proven that Warner Brothers can make great superhero movies, DC superhero movies.
They can.
Because and they can make $1 billion like The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, and they don't have to be hammering people over the head with continuity and what's coming next. And that's what I'm saying now. This Flashpoint thing, if you're going to use it as to reboot, that's idiotic. Stay with Gal and Wonder Woman. If Momoa kicks ass in Aquaman, and that movie's fantastic, and I think it is. I think it's going to be good. I mean, I'm excited for it, dude.
I am too.
What do you do next? You make another what?
Aquaman.
You make another Aquaman. Okay.
You just make another Aquaman.
You just make these movies. You just make them, and don't worry about.
If Aquaman comes out and it's a James Wan film, it looks like his film aesthetically.
Yes.
The editing, the pacing, everything, the dialogue. And it's just this kick-ass Aquaman origin standalone film, and it works, and it does $1 billion, or 900,000 or whatever, and it's 85% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, or 88, 89, whatever.
Yeah.
The next thing you do, okay, is you follow that formula. You don't say, home run, now what do we do with him now? I'll tell you what we do with him now. Let's put him back in the formula that didn't work before. Sounds like a good business plan to me. No. You're going to stick with what worked, and you're going to continue to make solo Aquaman movies.
Yeah.
There's nothing more telling than the success of things that weren't. Look, Wonder Woman worked.
Yeah.
And other than a quick email exchange, it had nothing to do with any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And it was Patty Jenkins' vision, and I guarantee you, Wonder Woman 2, whatever was lacking,
it's going to be straight up Patty Jenkins,
straight up Patty Jenkins, straight up,
yeah.
Which will probably benefit from that.
And look, I hope I know Jeff Johns is working on that with her, and that's what he's great at. Come on, give us another good one. Cold War, 70s, 80s, kick some ass. Hey, make a Wonder Woman 3, put her in flipping World War II. You know.
Sure.
I mean, do all that. It's fantastic. All right.
And at some point, will somebody please refer to her as Wonder Woman?
They've never said that, have they?
Have not yet said that. She's been in 3 films.
Yeah.
Not one time has anyone said Wonder Woman. Interesting, huh?
So they just, how would you, I mean, they
haven't called her Wonder Woman.
You got me. He's got to stump me there. Yeah,
I've been having all these weird thoughts. I'm going to do a little Star Wars thing real fast. Because I was thinking about Wonder Woman. Like, they haven't called her Wonder Woman. And my whole life, since 1983, I've referred to Return of the Jedi as Jedi. When you're talking about the movies, like, Jedi's, I love Jedi. It's a great film. Now, The Last Jedi is coming out.
Yeah.
So what do we do? I can't say that anymore.
No, you can't. In fact, you and I both have seen it Monday, so...
We're seeing it Monday.
Yes.
I'm stoked.
I'm super excited to see that, and we've said it many times. I'm not a Star Wars guy, but I've seen all the films, and I love them. Love the genre. I love the story. So, but I am very fired up to see The Last Jedi. All right, Rick. Let's plug. Oh, what are you wearing today?
Batman on film. It's the one that has a little damage here, but it's okay.
Oh, no one saw that.
No one big deal.
That's fine. You represent.
So I'll wear this to see Coco.
Yes, I am representing the state of Texas and Batman at the same time. Our great state. All right, plug something real quick, and then go. And then go see Paco. Oh, excuse me, Coco.
Coco. Bad inside joke.
Very inside joke.
So follow me on Twitter, Shewrick, SHEWRICK. The Last Jedi is Monday. I will put out a video after the film. That's just
please.
my social media reaction. We'll do a full review on Thursday, and then I'll be doing a show. We're gonna actually wait a week to do the Last Jedi Batman on Film Star Wars satellite episode on Last Jedi. We want to give it a week to let everybody see it over the first weekend, and then also
who's gonna be on your show, dude?
Paul Herman, Zaki Hassan, and then of course Justin and Ryan.
Okay.
Excited
for that.
And then, yeah, I'm very excited. And then FJ DeSanto, if you're listening, buddy,
he's listening.
I've got to lock him down for this 101, man. I have a show planned with FJ, who, all ball busting on Twitter aside, the guy is fucking brilliant, and he's brilliant. And we're going to talk Star Wars with him, just he and I, just a 101. I just want to get inside his head and interview him about Star Wars. So hopefully we'll get that by the end of the year, and I think that's going to be some rock and roll radio, man.
FJ's awesome. He co-wrote that. Where was that at, Rick? The
Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah, they did a whole. It was like a radio show. You know,
like a radio show.
Yeah, old school radio show. He wrote that. It was fantastic. I love you, FJ. Come on, man.
He's the real deal, man.
Yes. All right. You can follow me on Twitter at Batman on Film, and I want to shout out to our good friend Rick, your good friend, my good friend, all of us, Ed Koski, who is a great fan of BOF. He is a supporter of BOF. Literally, I mean, he's a supporter. So that brings me into, if you like what we do here on these vlogs, if you like the podcast, go to patreon.com/BatmanOnFilm, and if you are so inclined, contribute, and we'll shout you out. We'll send you a shirt and whatever, and it really helps us out, because and me out actually, because it costs a buck or two to do all this for you, and we appreciate everybody who listens and watches and reads and so forth, and we wouldn't be here without you. So, Rick, any closing words? Or are you good?
Yeah, and subscribe. I think I'm pointing in the right way. I'll get a little better at this as we move along. Wherever the subscribe button for YouTube is, subscribe
down there.
Subscribe to our channel. If you're into politics at all, go to my Left Shoe Politics page and subscribe there as well, please. But full circle, subscribe here on Batman on Film.
Aren't you doing a show with announcer Rachel this week?
Yes, on Wednesday. I'm going to go ahead and say Zachy, because it's Zachy, and if he can't make it, then it's okay. But Zachy's supposed to come on, Jeremy, Michael, and announcer Rachel, and we're going to talk about the Alabama Senate race that'll happen on Tuesday, amongst other things. So,
all right, cool. So, for Rick, I am Bill, and, real quick, Rick, Batman on Film, authoritative.
Okay.
You ready? Definitive. Go almost.
I'm channeling my inner redneck.
Get Mesquite in there, brother. I'm going Groves, Texas right now, sir. Let's do it again. All right. Batman on Film. Authoritative, definitive,
and the dadgum original.
And with that, we'll catch you next time. Thanks, guys.
See you guys.